No day is the same, and I think that that's probably one of my favorite things about being a vet tech at a zoo, is the variety and just never really knowing what my day is going to look like. Most important thing when it comes to fecals in my job is being able to perform the diagnostic tests that the doctors need us to be able to run. Every animal that comes to the zoo, whether it is a pre-shipment and they're going to a different institution, or if it is something where we have an animal incoming and going through quarantine, everyone gets a fecal, and all of our resident animals that we have here all go through routine screenings. The most important thing is being able to identify any abnormalities, like any kind of bacteria overload or anything viral, fungal, and more specifically, definitely intestinal parasites. And so we want to make sure that our animals are nice and clean and healthy, and that there's nothing that could potentially be transferred to another animal or to our keepers.
All animals' poop is judged on a fecal scoring system, and that system can vary how it's ranked from species to species and even among individuals within that species. But overall, whether the numbers are high or low, it can tell us if an animal is dehydrated, if an animal is overhydrated, and it can tell us, what possible conditions they may have. Is this animal stressed? Is it growing, aging, and developing properly?
When we look at our poop each day, ideally we want to see a fecal score of 2 or 3. So over here we have a fecal that we collected from Marusi at around 11:30 today, and her fecal score is a fecal score of a 2. It's very solid, and that's basically what we're looking for of a fecal score of number 2. It's very well formed and very solid. Over here we have a fecal score of 3. It has some solidity to it, but it's a little bit less formed than what our number 2s are.
We always want to know what the consistency is, which is why we use that score. As gross as it is, we're like, is it soft serve consistency? Is it watery? I mean, as the more description that we can get, the better, so we can better notify our doctors and create the most appropriate treatment plan and testing for that as well. When we're asking for our keepers to be able to collect a sample, obviously we provide them with the containers that they need to go in, but then also knowing that we need to express to them that if there is a concern for an infectious disease, that they're using the proper PPE. So gloves are an always. And then once the fecal sample has been submitted for that testing, we ask the doctors, what are we testing for? If we're looking for bacteria or something viral or fungal, we have to be able to run different testing versus what we would routinely run. As you'll see a little bit later, we will go over and we'll look at the centrifuge that we use to be able to spin down that sample. And so what that sample is doing is that as it's spinning in the centrifuge, the solutions that we're using allow for those eggs or the larvae that we're looking for to come float to the surface. Once that is done, we're able to pop that onto the microscope to be able to see, do we have any eggs? Do we have any live larvae? Why people should care about poo in general, even from a zoo perspective, but also with pets at home, is that there is a concept called One Health. The importance with that is making sure that our patients or pets are healthy, so that way we can protect them from any kind of infectious diseases, and then also just making sure that even those at home, that they are able to protect each other as well. Without being able to run these tests, we would not be able to see what disease processes are going on. And so this is an option that we are able to do with just kind of having a window into the body for a lot of these animals.